pull up next to a Hellcat and blow the doors off of it, and they would be like, yo, what the hell? What's good, Grind Schoolers? It's your boy Rob, and we back in the shop today. So today, we ain't got much going on, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the Impala because I found out some information that might potentially bring back some old heritage from back in the day, and kind of flip the script on, you know what I'm saying, what these Impalas and whatever are putting out and producing. Now, it's not going to be something that happens anytime soon, as I'm trying to like still get this Monte Carlo together and everything. But I had alluded to probably doing a twin turbo Impala LT1, because I haven't seen too many people do it and too many things happening with, you know, twin turbo LT1s. They're all LS motors. And I now found out some information that there's a car. Before we even get any further, let me know if you guys have heard about this car, know about this car or anything. There's a car from the 80s that sports an LT1 that is faster, that has gone faster than the brand new 2026 ZR1X. Let me know if you guys know or ever heard of this car before. I've never heard of the car before until probably like a couple of weeks ago. And it sports an LT1 motor. So, you know, I was talking to Dash a few weeks ago, probably about a month or maybe a month or so ago. And I'm like, you know, twin turbo LT1 would be dope. And he asked, you know, can it reliably support that horsepower, that type of motor? Because, you know, the LT1s and the small blocks, they have 4 bolt mains. What makes the LS special is they have 6 bolt mains. So there's 2 bolts that go on the bottom of, you know, the main caps, and then there's a bolt on each side of the block that goes into the side of the main cap, which is why the LS motors are so good for boost, because, you know, they're pretty much indestructible. The small blocks, they only have the 4 bolts that go on the bottom, but the LT1 has a 4 bolt main, and, you know, it is what it is. So I believe it could support the power, but there's a car from the 80s that I might try to replicate my Impala after. Now, we are not going to hit nowhere near 255 miles an hour, but do y'all's research. I will say it in this video, what I found out, but it has me a little bit excited about the Impala. But I'll go over there and I'll show you guys the Impala, because it hasn't been on the channel in a little bit, man. It's still dead in the water until we can get this Monte Carlo done. But I know a lot of you guys want to see the Impala, so I'm going to put it on the camera so we could talk about it a little bit. But before we do that, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, drop down in the comment section if you know what car I'm talking about. And yeah, let's get started. All right, y'all. The Impala is sitting over here collecting dust. I really want to get back to it, y'all. I'm trying my best to get back to it, but it's just gonna take time, man. I mean, it just is what it is. That's all we got. I really want this car to be super reliable, my daily driver, everything. But once again, I don't have the bandwidth to do it right now. I did order a new fan because, you know what I'm saying, one of the fans was out when I was driving it, and it was starting to heat up and everything like that. But as you can see, everything in here is really, really solid. You know what I'm saying? I really want to drive my car, man. I'm really trying to get back to it. And, you know, I'm really tired of driving the cars that, you know, our daily driver cars, you know, not my truck necessarily, but you can also see that it has leaked out hella oil. I think I cross-threaded the oil pan when I was trying to drain some of the oil out, because I thought that was the problem, and I just haven't checked. So it's just been leaking oil. I got the oil pan under there, but I had to take it out so I could put it under Elco to drain the transmission fluid. And when I didn't have the pan under there, that's what it did. So you can see it's collecting hella dust. So we gotta get that squared away and situated. But I wanted to talk to you guys to see if you guys think that this would be a feasible thing to do. I think it would be a feasible thing to do. I've stated before that I didn't want to get rid of this LT1 because it is a clean motor. Everything is solid on it. It's just real finicky. And I've done so much work to this motor that I didn't want to, you know what I'm saying, go and just, you know, scrap it for a LS motor. Plus everybody's doing LS now. If I do what I'm thinking about doing, it's going to be a lot of dough, for one. For two, it would be, I don't necessarily want to say the first in the world, because, you know what I'm saying, it definitely wouldn't be the first in the world. People have twin turbo Impalas before, but there's not many of them out there. And also on top of that, with gaining this new information, this new knowledge, there's not an LS car that is capable of reaching 255 miles an hour. And I'm not saying that this car is going to reach 255 miles an hour. It's still a big boat. It's still going to be whatever. However, for this builder to reach 255 miles an hour out of a LT1 5.7 motor is quite crazy. Now, I read up on the specs on how they were able to achieve that, and you know, it doesn't seem like it would be that complicated to do. So the car that I'm talking about is called the Sledgehammer. Now, if you guys look it up, it's a 1988 C4 Corvette. It's called the Sledgehammer, built by Callaway. And this car in 1988 reached 255 miles an hour. It has 830 something horsepower, which is ridiculous in the 80s. It's pretty much one of the fastest cars in the world to ever reach that top speed. There's only like 3 or 4 cars to reach that. You got the Bugatti, which is $1 million. You got the Venom GT, which is $1 million. You got the a Koenigsegg, which is $1 million. All of the rest of these cars are $1 million, and this Corvette did it in the 80s. All the rest of the cars, you know what I'm saying, I'm not really sure how many other cars have reached that top speed, but 255 is ridiculously fast. And even in today's time, it's super fast. There's no cars that really do that. Even the new ZR1 that's over $300,000 or whatever, it doesn't even reach 255 miles an hour. So for them to be able to achieve that out of an LT1 motor, it's kind of crazy. And it's not even mid-engine, it's front engine. You know what I'm saying? Which kind of, you know, the engineering out of Callaway for an LT1 motor is kind of crazy. So that kind of got me excited about this LT1 situation. Now, like I said, will it be, you know what I'm saying, like a 800 horsepower car? No, it won't be an 800 horsepower car. We're not trying to reach 200 miles an hour. The only thing that has me wanting to do this is because I currently have an LT1, obviously. Number two is, you know, not that many LT1 twin turbos out there. Number three is, you know what I'm saying, like everybody does LS. And I mean, what makes this car unique? There's not really much you could do to an Impala besides, you know what I'm saying, rims in a different color, because everything else is the same. You know, like I was saying in my last video about the originality. I mean, this is the originality besides my hood, and everything else is the same that you would see on every other Impala. But what you wouldn't see in any other Impala is a twin turbo. I know everybody goes LSA, throws superchargers, does all that kind of stuff, but twin turbo, LT1, you're probably not going to see a whole lot of that. And this platform answers my question about would it be feasible or even be worth it to do a twin turbo LT1. Because if you have a car that, even cars today that are $1 million plus, still cannot even hit 255 miles an hour. Even the Lamborghini Revolto, Aventador, all that, they still can't even hit 255 miles an hour. And those are $700 to $1 million cars. You know what I'm saying? Like, they still can't even hit 255. And they got that out of an LT1. You guys, I don't know if you guys, you know, can hear how crazy that is. An LT1. Name me an LS motor that does 255 miles an hour. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously there's more to it. You know what I mean? The aerodynamics and all that kind of stuff for the car. You guys can look it up. It's the Callaway 1988 C4 Corvette called the Sledgehammer. And I don't know, from what I can tell, there's only one of them built. But I don't know. So anyways, like I said, I think that's the direction of this car. And I think we're going to probably start working on this next instead of the El Camino, because when I had talked to you guys about this idea before, the El Camino, I didn't discover the transmission issue. And I had said that we're just going to knock out the things on the Elco and then whatever. But since the Elco has the transmission issue, I think we'll probably start working on this, because this has all the supporting situation outside of it. And I won't even have to do anything. Like, I won't have to change the computer, do any of that stuff. All I would have to do is take this motor out, rebuild it, throw some heads on it, cam it, throw twin turbochargers on here, figure out how to do the plumbing, and throw the thing back in. We're good to go, because everything else on it is pretty much brand new. So anyways, man, I just wanted to cut y'all on and talk to y'all about that for a little second, because I think that that would be a super cool and solid idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys could do your research on the car itself, but you know, I think that would be a cool story to an inspiration to build this car off of the 1988 C4 Corvette called the Sledgehammer. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to hit 200 and, you know what I'm saying, whatever miles an hour. I'm not trying to do that. That's not my goal. My goal is just to have a super solid, you know what I'm saying, B body that is different than everybody else's. That's pretty much my goal. You know what I mean? I don't want to do the LS. I mean, my next idea would be to LS it, you know, because I could just buy an LS motor, just throw it in there and whatever. But I think that this would be pretty cool. And then after riding a Dasher's car with the turbo actually spooling and doing what it does, I think that would be super, super cool to be able to, you know what I'm saying, drive my Impala around, you know, and be a super sleeper, pull up next to Hellcats and blow the doors off of them. And they wouldn't even see it coming, you know what I mean? Because you wouldn't even really hear it, because it's a quiet motor. And then it would be even more quiet with the turbochargers on there. And, you know, to pull up next to a Hellcat and blow the doors off of it, and they would be like, yo, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? So anyways, like I said, man, we're going to see. We're going to see how this goes. Again, it's going to take some time, but I'm going to start doing my R&D, my research and development on this car, because I came real close to just letting it go, y'all. But as you know, I will never be able to get back what I had lost in this car. You know what I'm saying? Not to say like monetary wise, but this car is so far along. I'm almost there. I just need to get this motor dialed in, and then we should be good to go. And, you know, like, if I were to get this, sell this for a Chevelle or something like that, I would have to do so much work and get back to this stage. And I don't want to go back to this stage. I'm ready to drive something. I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to ride. I'm ready to just rock out, you know what I'm saying? And this car is there. It's already painted. The interior is perfect. The suspension is done. The brakes are done. It already has the 8.5-inch rear end. It needs 373s. The transmission will have to go if I decide to do that twin turbo idea. And we just got to work on the motor, you know what I'm saying? Which is not that difficult of a job. Won't have to do the wiring. It already has Dakota Digital, everything. So, like I said, man, we're going to work on it, and we're going to try to see if we can get that done. I'm going to do more research on this car and see what they use. I kind of know what they used, and we're going to try to replicate it to the best of my ability and see what happens. All right, y'all. Wasn't nothing crazy on the Impala. I just wanted to bring y'all an idea that I've been having in regards to this car from the 80s that sports the same motor as the Impala. And, you know, like I said, the LS has been done multiple, a million times. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that the LT1 hasn't been done, but most people scrap the LT1, go LS. The LT1 is finicky. To me, it's challenging to work on a little bit, to say the least. But, you know, if it's built correctly, it's good. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, this car from the 80s is so fast, even today's time. But back then, that cars even today, unless you're talking about $1 million plus, can't even reach that speed. And that's mind boggling to me. So for it's definitely the fastest Corvette ever made. And it's not a factory car. I'm not saying it's a factory car. Obviously, the ZR1 is a factory car. People are going to upgrade them and do their performance stuff, and they'll reach those top speeds of 255. But for a Corvette to hit 255 miles an hour, that's kind of crazy, man. And, you know, I think in order to throw that into an Impala, that would be real cool. Like, I never wanted that to be a race car. I still don't want it to be a race car, but a super fun street car. Oh, I also forgot to mention, this was on 22 pounds of boost. I don't think I'm gonna want to reach 22 pounds of boost because it's a car that I want to drive and beat on all the time. I don't want to blow the motor or nothing like that. So, like I said, I will be doing my research and I will be figuring out what needs to happen to this motor. I don't think it will need any machining. It will need new pistons, new rods, ARP bolts, studs, all that kind of stuff. We are gonna upgrade the cam, the heads, and then turbos. So everything else on the motor could go back, and then we'll probably rock with a 4L80 transmission. That's also something that I gotta look at, see what transmission they use too. But it will probably go with a 4L80 transmission, and we'll see what happens, man. But anyways, man, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and yeah, we are going to get back to the Impala, you guys, I promise. I'm just dead set on trying to get this Monte Carlo done because obviously the space issue, like I always talk about, and this one is the closest to being done, even though it doesn't look like it. So anyways, man, like I said, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Always remember, work hard so you live free.